GPT, Bard AI, so much talk of artificial intelligence of late, the Tech Today team thought we need to get a new smart speaker. And there you have it, the new HomePod 2023 at the Tech Today studio. But wait, the last one didn't necessarily pack a punch a few years ago. But is this old wine in a new bottle or new wine in an old bottle? Well, let's find out. So yes, at first sight, this looks almost identical to the original HomePod, which didn't do too well in 2018. But there are a few differences, and the tech has gotten certainly better. Let's make this very simple for you. I'm going to tell you a few things that are good, and then let's just call it the not so good about this particular HomePod. So this is a little cheaper than the original HomePod, but it's also a little less powerful. I'll explain why. It has 5 tweeters and 4 microphones. Of course, the subwoofer is exactly the same as last time around, a 4-inch diameter. It's powered by Apple's new S7 chip. The new HomePod comes with sound recognition, temperature and humidity sensors. A bunch of those sensors also existed on the cheaper, smaller HomePod mini, but Apple hadn't activated them all along. Maybe with software updates, you'll be able to get that functionality as well. Which brings me to the good points about this HomePod. It is smart, but then there's a catch. The catch I'll explain later. The smart bit I must explain to you right now. Hey Siri, what's the temperature outside?
It's about 30 degrees outside.
Well, now you know. I'm shooting this in Mumbai. But now what's it like inside the Tech Today studio where we are in regulated conditions? Let's find out. Hey Siri, what's the temperature inside the room?
It's 26.2 degrees Celsius.
Another gripe people had with the original HomePod was that you couldn't remove the power cable at the back. You can do that with the new HomePod. I don't know how much of a difference that would actually make. But with sound recognition sensors, the one thing that the HomePod can do is, if you've left this on in the Tech Today studio and we're away, and supposing there's a fire alarm or a break-in, this would notify my phone wherever I am in the world that some sort of untoward incident has happened or it has detected that sound. So that is very helpful, but you get that with the Echo devices as well, which we'd used for the longest time. And speaking of sound quality, given how the HomePod is designed with 5 tweeters and Apple's computational audio abilities, it is the most brilliant sound I have heard in the Tech Today studio. It's a loud, airy sound no matter where you are. It is absolutely stellar. And of course, if you're using Apple Music and a particular track does support spatial audio or Dolby Atmos, you can tell the difference. And there's a bunch of tracks, even old ones, classics from the Beatles and whatnot, which have been remastered. This is the ideal device for all of that. Well, since we've listed out all the good things about this device, let's talk about the things which could have been better or should have been better with the new HomePod. Speaking of Apple Music, yes, if that's your go-to music app, then this works splendidly. But if you're using Spotify or any of these other apps, then the HomePod is not of much use. It can't be your default music app. Okay, so we've spoken about all the good stuff, change of lighting. Now let's address the not so good about the HomePod. The first thing is the catch that I was talking about. Remember I mentioned the catch? Well, it happens to be Siri. I hate to say this, but Siri, out of all the assistants, isn't the smartest assistant. Most importantly, when you compare it to Google Assistant, like we've seen on the show, or Amazon Alexa, Siri in India is perhaps not as useful, given the fact that we don't use Apple Maps as much. And that is the real core, the heart of the HomePod. So while Siri's voice sounds really good on these speakers because the sound quality is that good and the hardware to support it is amazing, but Siri just isn't smart enough. It doesn't always understand what you're saying, but one thing it does do well is that it picks up your audio from a distance as well. And then we get to the second point, which is competition. Competition from Google and, most importantly, Amazon. And Amazon has really perfected this whole home speaker space with its Echo devices, the Echo Show. That's one little gripe we have as well. On such an expensive speaker with such good hardware, Apple should come up with perhaps a screen like the Echo Show. Look, Amazon Astro, you've seen it on the show. Amazon's literally got a robot, which you got exclusively on Tech Today, which can follow you around. That's how advanced Amazon has gotten, and it's darn useful. and has a bunch of party tricks as well, like you've seen on the show before from Las Vegas. But with this, it is just a smart speaker, which, like I said, is not the smartest. Our last gripe is the pricing. Over 30,000 rupees for this device. And then when you're price conscious, the real competition doesn't only come from the Googles and the Amazons of the world, but it actually comes from its younger sibling, the HomePod Mini, which can practically do everything that this can at 1/3 the price. So there you have it, the new HomePod. Brilliant sound, but we'd wish it was a little smarter here on Tech Today.